Keller Price with Healthy Fit, getting ready for Glacier half marathon. It's a beautiful morning at Glacier National Park. Super excited to see the scenery and landscape this morning. It's only about 70 degrees, so it's going to be a great morning run. The road is quite steep here. I can feel it in my hips. So we just ran up this steep hill. Look at the amazing view. When you see that long, tiny row of people ahead, you say, oh my goodness. Keller Price with Healthy Fit. I just wanted to give you my post Glacier half marathon reflections. I was super pumped about doing this half marathon with my 3 boys. We are tent camping, so it's a different experience than if you get to sleep in your own bed and wake up well rested. I only got about 6 hours of sleep because we were tent camping and we were up late. Glacier is very north in the hemisphere, and so it doesn't get dark until like 11 o'clock, and I swear the sun came up at 4. I don't know exactly what time, but it seemed like it was super bright. So I was a little bit fatigued going into the race. The scenery was amazing. The first 5 miles was uphill, which I knew about. It was in the race guide, so I expected that. But the race was primarily on a road, and the grade of the road was very steep. I don't know what the exact grade was, but I could definitely feel it in my ankles, hips, and knees. So as I was running, I was trying to find the flattest part of the road at any given point. Sometimes I was running on one side, sometimes I was running on the other side, sometimes I was running down the center stripe, trying to find the best place to minimize the stress and strain on my joints, and my alignment does not like running at an angle. So if you're doing this race in the future, I would recommend doing some training, maybe in a culvert, so that you can run on a extreme slant for some of your training to build up that endurance in those joints, because that was probably the most challenging part for me. From miles 2 to 3, there really wasn't a berm on the side of the road. So the road dropped off, and there was a cliff on one side for miles 2 through 3. And I got a little bit of vertigo because when you look over the side, you saw like nothing. It was very steep. So that was a little bit of a challenge for me as well. I tended to stay further in, so that didn't impact me as much. The weather here was amazing for running. This was one of the first races that I ever started without my jacket on. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm really cold all the time, and so typically I run the first 2 miles with a jacket on and then take it off. It was warm enough that I was able to take my jacket off at the start and not be shivering. So it was the temperature was pretty good. About 9 o'clock, it was still 72 degrees, and there was a lot of shade on the road for a good part of the race. So at points when I had to stand in line for the bathroom, I had to go to the bathroom twice during the race. And that was unfortunate because that slowed down my time having to wait in line for the restroom. But that rest time, I noticed that I was almost chilly. But it was beautiful weather. At the finish line, the sun was out and we got to enjoy some sunshine. A great course because it is a road course. The terrain was fairly, like I said, it was a road, so it was paved. But again, the grade was probably the biggest challenge for me. Even with my strongboard training that I incorporate into a lot of my workouts and my trail running, which really strengthens your ankles, I'm guessing that a lot of people are probably feeling it in their ankles today. My son woke up this morning and said, my ankles are sore. And that's because of running on that grade requires strength in your muscles and tendons to support running at that angle. And so that would be something that I would really want to incorporate in the training next time. The course was well staffed with volunteers and food, and I really had a great time, and we're going to do some hiking today and stretch out our legs. Thanks for watching. If you need help training for your next half marathon or race, I have some great programs with Healthy Fit. Check out Athlete Strength Program and my recovery program, Stretch, Mobility, and Recovery, which incorporates self-myofascial release, yoga exercises, stretches, mobility and recovery exercises to make each run feel amazing.